Good morning. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am PJ. Too many people, and to a degree, too many of us, are living with incorrect assumptions. We are assuming things that aren't necessarily so. We take action based on ideas, thoughts, beliefs that just are not true. And it could, and I submit maybe soon, come around to bite people in the butt. Perhaps you. That's what I'm going to talk about today. But first, the Wicked Black Brew. Contemplate the unthinkable. Too many people don't like to do that. It's uncomfortable. I don't like going there in my brain. I don't want to think about it. It's related to the OODA loop, invented by Boyd for fighter pilots. Observe, orient, decide, act. Most people get stuck at the orient phase, meaning they may observe it, although a lot of people in today's world are so stuck in their phones and their own little world that they don't even get past the go. But after you observe something, you have to orient on it, meaning you have to understand what it is. Again, the analogy of a 400-pound rabid gorilla coming out of these blackberry bushes. Most people would go, what? It's too late, right? And then decide and then act. But it goes in that order. And so you have to orient. And too many people aren't orienting on what's happening in the world because it's too scary to recognize it as a monster, to call it by name. That's just, I can't handle that man. I've talked about that before. I'm getting somewhere with this that I want to go, but things are popping into my head. This country, the Western world back in the 1800s and probably in Europe, probably have to go back further. It was a different life for people. People were, if you will allow me this, surrounded by death. We're still surrounded by death. We just don't see it, right? It's all plastic and clean. But people had to deal with people dying, young people, old people, regular people. And it didn't crush people by and large when people died. But nowadays, I just can't handle it. Give me a Valium, put me in therapy, da-da-da-da-da. Dying is a part of life. But we don't like thinking about it. Not really. We watch all these movies with glorious stuff, but we don't really think about it. We don't make it personal. I watched a lot of the videos of the riots in Portland and Seattle and Minneapolis and the other places. And typically the videos I watched were shot by regular people, if you'll allow me that. Typically the ones that I'm thinking about now were shot by left-wingers, Antifa supporter, BLM supporter people. And they're filming, the goings-on and the burning and the looting and the fighting and the sucker punching. If you guys have watched any of those videos, you know what I'm talking about. And a video that I saw more than once, meaning the situation more than once, there's a crowd of people doing bad things, and some passerby is in their car and they get caught up in it. And they're surrounded by people who are breaking windows and burning things. And does the name Reginald Denny mean anything to anybody? And then people start banging on their car, and people are standing in front of their car like this, like, you may not pass, none shall pass. And people are filming, and the person in the car gets scared and floors their car and runs over people. Bowling pins. And without fail, the people in the crowd start screaming, "Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!" They're not orienting. They're like their brain's not computing that this person just ran over 2 or 3 people or one person or whatever. And how did that happen? What the F did you think was going to happen? What other choice did that person have in that car? The next thing that was going to happen is somebody was going to smash their rear window, pour a flammable liquid in it, and light it on fire. What else were they supposed to do? Yeah, you didn't think that far ahead, did you? I think that's another thing. I think Americans are losing their ability to think ahead, to play chess. It requires too much deep thinking, too much, well, if it, then this, and then if that, then this, and then, ooh, no, okay, back up. If this, then that. Man, they want it. They want it fast. That's why our TVs and our movies and our commercials are fast. Can't get into the deep thinking. They didn't see that happening. Dr. Phil's in my head. Well, how'd that work for you? Not very well. Mike Tyson, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. We'll go out there and we'll take it to the man. Yeah, until you scare somebody and they run you over. And what's coming the next time these things get out of hand is more Rittenhouses. That's going to happen. People don't expect that. Well, that was relatively a local, regional level of thinking that people don't think about. People don't think about where road rage is going to go. You know, people are losing, they watch too many YouTube videos or something, and they think they can get all road ragey. And occasionally, they come across somebody who's having a bad day. And you get out of your car, or you act the fool in your car, and it ends right there. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. Didn't think that one through, did you? The same thing is going on the world stage with Russia. And people are only now starting to figure out, oh crap, they may mean this. You think? Ukraine. Again. Ukraine, the Soviet Union broke up. All their little Soviet socialist republics became their own little countries. And of course, the West starts trying to gobble them up to bring them into our sphere of influence. There's nothing wrong with that in general. There's nothing wrong with, hey, let's get you on our team. Until you get to the point that you realize that the way you're treating Russia, West, is that you never are going to allow them on your team. You know, West Germany's on the West team. We fought Germany. Germany's on the West. We fought Britain twice. Britain's on the West team. You know, Russia's never going to be on the team. And so we're taking all their pieces. Well, that kind of changes the game a little bit. And then when we surrounded Russia, Russia woke up and said, hey, they're trying to kill us. I'm in my car surrounded by people. They're banging on the car. Something bad is going to happen for which I will not have an adequate response unless I take a response now. And we overthrew the Ukrainian government. We did. Installed our puppet that was anti-Russian. Dun, 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 dun. And Zelensky gets in. And then they start making noise about, yeah, we're going to take Crimea back. And that's when Russia said, that's enough. That's a bridge too far. And this current thing started. Yeah, they're not giving it up. And they're not going to give up eastern Ukraine, the Donbass. And the U.S. is like, we can bleed them dry like we did in Afghanistan. Let's just keep giving aid to Ukraine. And we'll hurt the Russians. Hold on a second. We're looking at it like a game. We can basically send money to Ukraine instead of Detroit that needs it, or Cahoica or whatever. There's all Cairo. I think they call it Cairo in Illinois. We have these cities in America that look like third world horrible cities. Why don't we send some of those millions and billions to those places and fix them up? Oh yeah. Probably because it's only black people living there, and you don't think there's some truth to that? There is. Anyway, I don't want to go there. So we're sending all this money and aid and equipment, and we're hurting Russia, and we are hurting Russia. Why? Again, we should make friends with Russia. I've said that forever. It's probably a little bit late now. It'd probably take a while now. But Russia views this. Here's the thing that people are just waking up to. Russia views this whole situation as an existential threat. If you are picking on me, and in your mind, you're just gonna beat me up or humiliate me or, something like that, and you think, it'll just go this way. But I fear for my life or the life of my loved ones or my people. I'm not fighting you like that. I'm fighting you like that immediately. And it's like, oh, where'd that come from? Why'd you go there? Because perception is different on both sides of the coin. Russia perceived this fight differently. And when Putin said, and I talked about this in the sit-rep the other day, they are going to annex. They are going to bring, wow, that sun is bright. They are going to bring into Russia those eastern provinces. In the Donbass. And once they do, they've already said that will be part of Russia, and any attack on Russia is different than an attack on our allies, these breakaway republics of Ukraine. Once they become Russia, it's Russia. It's like, how well are you willing to defend your neighbor's house? How well are you willing to defend the hallway to your little girl's room? Right? It's different. Well, they're letting the world know it's different once we annex them. And is it a fair vote? Somebody said it's not fair. But what's fair got to do with anything? That fair doesn't matter. Fair is some little construct. Oh my God! Oh my God! It's not fair. Yeah, it's not. So the vote is going on. It started Friday. I think it's ending soon. Very soon they're going to declare these. So we're kind of going into a sit-rep here, and I didn't intend to. They're going to declare these breakaway provinces of Ukraine to be part of Russia. And then it's going to get really interesting, folks. They're not going to... Let me see if I can get the difference to you. They're fighting in Ukraine, and we're giving the Ukrainians arms and equipment for which they can be more effective at killing more Russians in Ukraine. But we're not in Ukraine fighting Russians because we don't want the Russians to think we're fighting them. All right, that's one thing. And that's kind of what we are operating under. Now picture Russia. Picture Russian towns and cities and farms and, whatever. Russia. And we are equipping and training forces to go into Russia to attack Russia. And let's say we're being effective at that. Do you think Russia would perceive that differently? Yeah, they will. And that is why when they say, don't think that, where can I go to get out of that sun? I can't, the sun. Don't think that we won't nuke Berlin or London. They haven't said it yet. New York, DC, Wichita. Don't think they won't. You're attacking us. Russia realizes that they are at war with NATO. See, NATO is fighting a proxy war with Ukraine. That's what we're doing. We're using the Ukrainians, silly fools, to fight the Russians. And we think by doing that, we're not there. We're not doing anything. I didn't do anything. We think we're safe. I was working at the Pentagon. I'd just come out of back-to-back Special Forces assignments, so my brain was different than the people they put me with, and I was working with intelligence people. Initially, non-operational intelligence people, think analyst and big brain on Brad kind of people, and they were smart. And I used to carpool with a guy, And he was an Air Force intelligence officer. And he was very good at what he did. But he was clueless. For as smart as he was, and I can't even tell you the area that he worked in because that's classified, but the focus area that he was on, he was good. Believe me when I tell you, he was good. He was clueless at how the real world works. And we were going home on a Friday, and I told him that he made a comment that how, this war in Iraq was heating up and we were going to kick their butt and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, except, they could target you at your barbecue on Sunday. He's like, no, they couldn't. I said, it would be so easy. I said, first of all, you drive to work every day from your house in a uniform. I never did. I said, so everyone in your neighborhood knows you're an Air Force officer. We are at war with Iraq. We are using our Air Force to good effect. You are an Air Force officer. You are a target for Iraqis. And sneaking a commando team into America is the easiest thing in the world. And I said, it's Geneva Convention, we've looked at this. They can walk around in civilian clothes. They can infiltrate in civilian clothes. It's just at the moment of attack, at the moment of fighting, to be in conformance with the Geneva Convention, like anybody really cares about that. But they have to have their uniform on, identifying features and stuff like that. I said they could literally drive a van into your neighborhood, change in the back of the van, come slaughter you and collateral damage, everybody at your barbecue on Sunday, get back in their van and leave. And they will have helped themselves a little bit. You're a legitimate target. He never thought of it like that. He never thought of himself as a legitimate target. There are legitimate targets for Russia in their fight in Ukraine here in our homeland. How do you defeat drones? How can we defeat drones? Go after the operators. You want to do it asymmetrically? Go after the operators' families. People, war could come here. Horrible war. More escalatory than you're prepared for. Nukes could go off that directly affect you. If you live in a city, they could directly affect you. If you live out in the countryside, depending on fallout patterns in your area, they could directly affect you. Yes, that could happen. And everything below that could happen. Remember when World War II, Lend-Lease, before we got into it, we're just shipping massive supplies to England, right? To Europe. And the German subs started sinking our ships because we were directly supplying the war effort. We're directly supplying the war effort now from Alabama and Washington State and here and there. You think the Russians have the capability to do something about that? Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh, what did you think was gonna happen? So that brings us to the end. Things could happen. Y'all need to have your stuff in order. Have your stuff packed. Be tight. Be ready for this thing to escalate much faster and much further than you thought it would. Without some of you take what I say when I say that stuff and go crazy and start hyperventilating. Don't do that. Calm, cold, purposeful preparation. That's how you get through this thing. Don't go crazy. And yes, you can still have a barbecue. All right. Hey, tomorrow is Feast of Trumpets. Leviticus 23. You can read all about it. I will not be making a video tomorrow. So, we're having a barbecue. Go figure. A barbecue while we're still prepared for everything. Our backyard barbecues don't look like your backyard barbecues. All right. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you out there.